Hello, welcome to the Fort Smith Regional Art Museum. This is our permanent collection exhibition titled Selections from Our Permanent Collection. I am the assistant curator here at the Fort Smith Regional Art Museum. My name is Samantha Rhodes, and I have curated this exhibition. We originally had this idea to bring a selection from our permanent collection to the public, and it's really an ongoing exhibition that happens quite a bit for us when we don't have traveling exhibitions or sponsored exhibitions that we're doing. But it was the first time that I was able to curate for the museum. And in light of COVID-19 and the quarantine and all of the isolation or even self-isolation that people put themselves through, I really wanted to focus on this kind of creative force behind what we considered isolation and quarantine from the public. And that it really gave us an opportunity to explore our own interests and our own hobbies, and it gave us an opportunity to spend time with our families. So we are going to talk about three works, or highlight three works in our exhibition that are some of my personal favorites. The first I want to highlight is actually a series by Eva Rubenstein, and she's a Polish-American artist. She was very prominent in the 60s and 70s. Began as a journalistic photographer and eventually started getting into her own art photography. Now, her primary works involve still lives, interiors, portraits, and nudes. There are 4 photographs by her, and they're beautiful prints and black and white photographs. She was very, very good at taking interiors as they were and kind of emphasizing this area of the mundane. A lot of her work is not necessarily staged, but it's very natural, it's very organic. And I decided to highlight her in this exhibition simply because she represents this idea of nostalgia and this idea of home in a very beautiful and yet mundane way. And so it's very nostalgic of probably what our own homes look like. The next artist that we're going to highlight is Leonard Wren's work, and it is a very traditional still life. Now, Leonard Wren is known for being an American Impressionist. He studied with a couple of artists out of Oklahoma City, and he really cut his teeth more on still lives. And it's really in this spirit of kind of, the 16th, 17th, and even 18th century still life, but with a very much impressionistic spin. So it looks like the painting has a lot of movements because of the loose brush strokes and because of the texture of the work itself. And it's very evocative of kind of these very still, quiet moments that all of us probably experienced in this isolation from one another, or just experience at home even today. And so I wanted to take that calmness and that stillness and incorporate that into the exhibition as well. And then one of my favorite works in the exhibition and in our permanent collection is Elizabeth Ryan's Spring on the South. And it's actually this picture and this representation of hope after kind of the isolation and the quarantines. And once the vaccine kind of came into play, people were ready to see one another again. They were ready to go to social events. And so this idea of Spring on the South gives us hope because it's outdoors, it's surrounded by people, there are lots of colors, there's a lot of movement, and there's just really a lot of life. Those are the 3 works that I would definitely pay attention to if you're visiting, just to give you a taste of what our permanent collection actually has and some of the newer acquisitions that we have made. And so be sure to check those out. Leonard Wren's work, of course. We have a couple of John Bell's that have never been seen before by the public that you definitely should check out. And we hope to see you soon at this exhibition and at RAM. Thank you.